Sometimes animals really just need a helping hand. You know, if you see one asking a human for help, it must be truly desperate. So hit that subscribe button and let's look at 20 times animals asked people for help. This guy was on one of his usual hikes and stopped to rest when a passing monkey noticed a water bottle in the side pocket of his bag and tried to grab it. He didn't understand what the monkey was trying to do at first and kept on filming, but then noticed it was after the water and handed it the bottle himself. The heat in the summer months can actually get really bad, especially for wild animals, such as this crow. The poor thing was really parched and asked this passerby for some water. This bird really was just in the right place at the right time. This leopard got its head stuck in a metal pot while drinking water from it. No one knew what to do for the longest time, but then they came up with a solution. They tranquilized it and then removed the pot before releasing it back into the forest. This poor kangaroo got its hands burnt when it got caught up in a fire in Australia. A little while later, this lady found it and helped the kangaroo with the pain from the burns by pouring some cold water on its hands and temporarily giving some relief to the poor animal's injuries. This mama cow went up to Dave the farmer and asked him to help her save her calf. At first, he didn't realize what she wanted, but it soon dawned on him. She'd given birth right next to the electric fence. Her baby had slid down under the fence and out of her reach. Dave held the wire up with a wooden stick and pushed the calf to the other side, reuniting it with its mama. Here's what happened with this man who was just walking down the street when a random squirrel walked up to him, trying to express that it needed something pretty urgently. He followed the tiny creature and discovered that there was a baby squirrel stranded in a nearby tree, and a cat was lurking around with the wrong kind of intentions. This little fawn had gotten separated from its mother, and then ran into this woman. When its mother didn't show up, she took it home and took care of it herself. A wounded tiger arrived at a man's house asking for his help. The man woke up one day and found a huge tiger sitting on the porch. Soon, the tiger got up and walked towards him. He noticed a steel ring like the ones poachers use around the tiger's neck, which was hurting it. He not only got the ring off, but he also took care of the tiger for 2 weeks afterwards. This poor elephant approached some humans after being shot in the head by poachers and asked them for help. They then tranquilized the gentle giant and discovered that the bullet was lodged in its skull. Had the shot been a couple inches lower, he wouldn't have made it. Thankfully, he lived and made a full recovery. Villagers found a leopard had fallen into a well 25 feet deep and was stuck there. They tranquilized the big cat and tied a rope around it. Then a rescue worker climbed down the well and brought it up, after which it was taken to a nearby zoo. This raccoon was really hungry, and they couldn't find any food. So it showed up at a person's house and knocked against the glass window with a rock to catch their attention and ask for something to eat. Poor thing must have been really hungry to do something like that.
I love you, girlfriend. She's so good at it too. She holds it in her paws, makes so much noise.
This deer had an arrow lodged in its side. So when these people found it, they tranquilized the animal and then took it with them to take care of its wounds. They loaded it onto their truck and took it to a clinic. The vet then cleaned the wounds and sutured them too. Before much longer, the deer made a full recovery as well. Pandas are known for being really laid back and just going along with whatever happens around them. This one was stuck in a tree and asked a passerby to help get down by giving them a hug. This dog somehow knew where to go for help. The poor thing's paw was injured. In a cry for help, she wagged her tail and placed her paw in the pharmacist's hand to show the injuries. Then the pharmacist treated the dog and cleaned its wounds too. No matter what the situation is, snakes can be quite intimidating to approach. A man in India heroically fed this snake water with a bottle during a drought in India. This mother was worried about her babies. They'd somehow got themselves stuck in a puddle. She instinctively knew just who to ask for help to. The man she chose for the job was able to get there in time, and with his help, the puppy was saved. This cat hurt one of its rear legs really badly and then arrived at this person's house in need of help. You can hear the desperation in its voice too. Then they took it to the vet and treated it for its injuries, which were probably the result of another cat injuring it in a fight, and then the wound getting infected. Luckily, in some time, the injuries began to go away, and the cat was doing pretty good. This sloth mysteriously found itself in the middle of the road, and when you think about how slowly these guys move, this would have been really dangerous. It was only a matter of time before some passing vehicle would have crushed it. This man picked it up and placed it away in a tree on the opposite side. You can even see it smile and wave at the man later. It's really something to watch a sea creature so desperate that it's left with no choice but asking humans for help. This seal climbed a ladder and pulled itself aboard onto the boat these guys were on, because it was pretty wounded and really needed medical help. It really was the sea lion's lucky day. The boat was passing through at the perfect time for it to notice the vehicle and go to it. Also that the people aboard were kind enough to help. This dog strolled into a veterinary clinic and was in a lot of pain. Further investigation revealed that the animal had a pretty big tumor in its leg, so they operated on him and took care of him afterwards for free. Fortunately, he also went on to make a total recovery. Alright, comment below which of these animal stories made you the most emotional. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Trend Joint, and we'll see you in the next one.